Hey everybody, welcome to the Finding Your Fitness After Birth workshop. These are exercises that we've gone over in class and we want you guys to continue practicing when you get home. So we wanted to give you all some extra support by providing you with the exercises here on this video.
And so we're just going to show you some easy things that you can keep in mind and remember to do on a daily basis.
So let's get started.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do some Kegel exercises. The first one I'm going to show you is seated. You grab a towel roll, roll it up, not too thick, and then you're going to place this on your chair and then sit on it. This is going to give you a little feedback, so you want it snug between your butt cheeks, feet on the floor, hands resting on your thighs, and then we're going to use the breath here. So you're going to inhale and bring the breath into your belly, and here you're going to feel some pressure down into the towel roll. And then you're going to exhale and lift the pelvic floor and lift yourself up off of the towel roll. And ideally you won't feel any tension here in your hip flexors or in your butt. And you just have this nice little feedback of this roll to tell you whether or not you're doing it correctly. So that's the first thing you can do. Okay, here's Kegel exercise number 2. I am on a physio ball. It's a little more advanced. You got to have some balance here. So if you are feeling a little tipsy in your 3rd trimester of pregnancy, you might want to make sure you have a chair or do this next to a wall. When you're seated on your ball, and you're gonna use your inhale and your exhale again to find the pelvic floor. So you're gonna inhale and allow yourself to sink into the ball, and then inhale, it's like a lifting in and up as you exhale, and you can feel the pressure of the ball release as you exhale. Inhale, sink down into that ball, and then exhale. Use your pelvic floor to lift up and out. It's okay to put your feet on the floor and use a little bit of pressure on your feet, but make sure you're not squeezing your butt. Your hip flexor shouldn't be tight either, so you've got a nice neutral pelvis. If you're having trouble finding this, try rocking your pelvis back and forth. The ball gives you nice feedback. If you rock forward, you'll feel more of the pelvic floor muscles in the front. You may feel some tension there, like you're stopping the flow of urine, but you won't feel much in the back. If you tip your pelvis all the way back, you might only be able to get a little butt contraction or very little contraction or somewhere around the anus. If you go right between the two, your pelvis will be in neutral and you'll get that nice lift when you exhale and as you contract. Everything will come up together. Good. Okay, so Kegel exercise on your back. If you are in your 2nd or 3rd trimester of pregnancy, laying on your back probably won't be that comfortable for very long. If you're really having a hard time finding that pelvic floor contraction, this is the best way to find it. But just use caution here. And if you're after birth, no problems. All right, so lay on your back with your knees bent and just relax your arms by your sides. Okay, so we're gonna use we wanna find a neutral spine. So go ahead and put your hands on your pelvis here and feel these bony spots on your pelvis there, Allison. Good. Now, what I want you to do is rock your pelvis forward and back. Feel those bony spots move towards your knees. There you go. Good. Rocking them towards your knees and then rocking them back towards your face. So this is this is anterior tilt or forward tilt, where the pubic bone is pointed down towards the ground. And then the other way, where the back is flat and flattened onto the floor, that's a posterior tilt, or the tail tucked between the legs. You want to find neutral, somewhere in neutral, where you're neither forward nor back. Now from here, find the little bony spots, and then take your fingers in towards the belly button until they drop off into a little sinking position here. Good, and then you just rest your hands and just use the fingertips right there. Right there you're going to find what's called the transversus abdominis, or the lower abdominal muscles that help come together to help stabilize the lumbar spine. And the pelvic floor works with these muscles, and these are the easiest to palpate. So if those are active, then it's very likely that you're using your pelvic floor. So we're going to use our breath here again. So you're going to take an inhale for me. And then exhale, feel this lifting in and up from the pelvic floor. You'll feel the tension under your fingertips, a little bouncy like a trampoline. Good. And then inhale and let it release. And then exhale again. And you can think about these 2 points on your pelvis coming together like tightening a belt. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that your buttocks are relaxed and you're not holding tension in the shoulders. And you want to take your breath really deep down into the belly. Exhale through your mouth. That does really help, like you're blowing out a candle or blowing through a straw. If you inhale, the breath goes in nice and deeply and slowly. And if you exhale through the pursed lips, it goes very slowly and you help get that lifting in and up feeling. Good. So you just want to hold that contraction for as long as an exhale. Pause for a moment and then inhale and let it relax. And you just want to do about 3 sets of 5 each day.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to move into is more getting a little deeper into feeling a bracing in your core. So really getting all those areas of the core turned on in a very safe way where it creates stability in the spine, and it helps you really find that, because what Michelle and I both have found is that after you've had a baby, or after you've had a C-section or diastasis recti, things like that, you kind of lose neurological function in the core, and it's really hard to feel it sometimes. So this is a great exercise for tuning into that again and repatterning you neurologically to feel your core again and to help everything work together again as well. So because we want to create stability in the core and in the spine as well. So this one is, we're going to start with our feet on the wall in a 90-degree position, and we're gonna find that we're gonna do the pelvic rocking like we did with Michelle just a little bit ago. And I want you to actually tuck the pelvis under a slight bit, and you're going to actually do more of a curved position, and we're going to do more of a hollow body position here. We're going to create that rounded position here, starting with the hands up. We're going to tuck the chin in, and I want you to really put pressure into the feet so that you can support your pelvis in creating that position. So we're really driving the belly button in towards the floor and holding that for 10 seconds. And then you're going to let it go again. And again, I want you to not let your head just hang out. Make sure that your chin is tucked, so that creates some stability in the neck as well, and it supports the strength of the neck as well as the core. So if you want to create a little bit more load on that, you can actually bring your arms out this way. I like to overlap my hands so that my head is supported with my arms. And then I'm just going to create a little bit more load on the core while I press my feet into the wall. I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds and then relax. So I'm really creating that feeling of everything in my core working together in a really deep way, in a very quick way as well. So if you want to actually pull away from the wall and try that without the wall, it would look like this. Now we're holding our legs up. We're not in our hip flexors. We're making sure that we're able to press down through here. We have the strength to do that before we go into this position. Hands either here, the chin tucked, or you can bring the arms back here. Okay? So try that 3 sets of 10 seconds in the beginner's position, and then you can go up and go into the more advanced positions once you feel like you got a hang of it and you've created your strength. Okay, so the next move is going to be the hips. We're going to strengthen the hips so that they can support the core, and kind of start working with the pelvic floor again, working with the pelvis to help stabilize the hips and the lower spine as well, because your body has been through a lot, and we want to start strengthening and getting things stable again. So this is going to help you get towards that a little bit quicker. So the first part is going to be just a simple clam shell. What we're going to do is lay on your side. You can use your arm and bend your arm to cradle your head. Your top hip is a little bit forward here, and then your feet are together. And then from here, just kind of notice if your feet are in line with your hips here. And then from there, you're just going to lift your knee off the top knee up, keeping the feet together and bringing it back. Drawing your belly button in if you can, to kind of keep your torso in place as you lift the knee. You just want to make sure you're not doing this. As you lift, you're keeping your body in place and just isolating that medial glute area, the side of the hip. And then you'll do 10 to 15 on the other side. And if you want to add resistance, you can add a resistance band, which we went over in class. And it's very cheap. You can get that on Amazon or probably any sporting goods store. So the next thing that's really super helpful to practice at home is the glute bridge march. And this is going to really help you, again, number one, assess how you're stabilizing each side, each hip, as well as it's going to help you strengthen each hip and the glutes, which are going to help you. It's going to provide the stability for stabilizing your hips and your lower back when you're walking, going upstairs, lifting things and such. All right, so we're going to start here by lifting the hips up. Okay, you're going to make sure you're not in the lower back. When you lift the hips, make sure your hips are under into that neutral position and coming up and using your glutes to hold your body up right here. You want to relax your shoulders, relax your face, and then from here I'm going to have you lift one knee towards you, maintaining that position. You don't want your hips to drop down. You want to keep them up as well. Notice if one side is if you're feeling like you can't hold your hips level to each other as you lift the knees. So you want to do about 5 to 10 on each side here. And just go at your own pace. And you should feel really strongly the glutes on here as well as the hamstring.